Hey VC, Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. I am going to get back to showing some more records from the record collection I bought in December. This might be a long one because I'm going to try to bash through 2 boxes of records. But before I do that, I want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of new channels, to me anyways. The first one is Darcy Ska. He is a new member of the VC. I think he's done about maybe 15 or 16 videos, but he's got a little over 100 subscribers. I think he's from the West Coast. Darcy, if you are from the West Coast, let me know. Always happy to have another VC member on the West Coast of Canada. And the second is, his channel is called Bill Vinyl-Lists, so that's Bill Vinyl Lists. He's from Aberdeen, Scotland. You ever been to Scotland? You should go. Scotland is just absolutely beautiful. People are wonderful, and he's got about 120 subscribers. So he's a fairly new member of the VC, I think, in the last year or so. So, anyways, to recap, I bought this record collection, about 500 records. Works out to about 60 cents a piece. This is part 4. I don't want this to go on forever. So let me just get started and show you some of the records I got. First of all, Tom Rush. I'm a new Tom Rush fan. I've got about 4 of his records. He's a great singer-songwriter. I think he's from New Hampshire, maybe Connecticut. He does a he writes his own songs and interprets other people's songs. And he does Ladies Love Outlaws on here, Desperados Waiting for the Train. And he does Bruce Coburn's song, One Day I Walk, on here. So great covers there. And lo and behold, right off the top of the bat here, I found a 10-cent piece in the bottom of the box. So I'm pushing down the price of these records. This is a US dime as well, so it's worth more than 10 cents. So lucky me. Okay, Tommy. I already have a copy of this, but it's got the booklet and it's in good shape. Cover's a little beat up, but still nice to have that. Tommy, the soundtrack to the movie Tommy, starring Anne Margaret, Oliver Reed, Roger Daltrey, and Elton John. I know that Steve, All the World's a Stage, is a big Anne Margaret fan, so I'm sure this is one of his favorite movies. That'll go in my Who collection. I don't have that. Lately, I've been picking up Edgar Winter albums. I already had his White Trash albums. They're fantastic. I think his White Trash material is better than his solo material, but this is Shock Treatment. And what was the hit on here? Rockin' on the Queen of My Dreams? No, it doesn't have, it's called Some Kind of Animal anyways. It does not have any hits that I recognize here. My first Grand Funk album, and this is Grand Funk Railroad Caught in the Act. It's got a lot of their latest hits. I like their early stuff, and I am going to try and collect their early stuff, but I think they really broke into the pop market when Todd Rundgren started producing them. They've got Locomotions on here, Some Kind of Wonderful, what else? Those are the big hits that they produced after their first 4 albums. But live album, Caught in the Act. It's a gatefold. I'm going to keep that one. Another Chuck Berry album. It is Chuck Berry Flashback. It is on Pickwick Records. It says 2 records, but it only has 1 record in the sleeve. But fortunately, the 1 record it has on the sleeve are all the songs that I'm interested in. And the second record it calls them hits, but they're not hits to me. But Chuck Berry, always great to have Chuck Berry. Blues Brothers, I mean, come on, guys. Like, movie stars wanting to be singers. Come on, taking all the oxygen out of the room for all the real bands. But this is the second Blues Brothers album. It's called Made in America. A band that I'm not familiar with, they're called The Deserters. I've got 2 of their records. One is just called The Deserters, and the other is called Siberian Nightlife. So, Deserters used to be this is a 4-piece band, and then they went down to a 3-piece. So, I haven't listened to these guys yet, but looking forward to that. Rocky Burnett. Don't know anything about Rocky, but I kind of think he's more old school rock and roll. Yeah. Was he a related to Johnny Burnett? He might have been. Record everybody knows, Talking Heads. More songs about... Is this more songs about building than food? Yep. Fantastic record. But this is a really nice copy. It's got a nice laminated cover. Probably an upgrade from the old beat-up copy that I had, which was an original. Moon Martin. Not a name you hear every day, but Power Pop from California. I have this record. I bought it for $1, and it's a pretty good record. The sleeve is all beat up, but the record is just fine. 16 top hits. They're really not top hits, to tell you the truth. This will probably be donated somewhere along the line to a worthy charity. Band that I'm not familiar with, the Iron City House Rockers. Sounds like a rock band from probably the Pittsburgh area. I think maybe Steve, All the World's a Stage, has shown at least one of their records. Classic, The Best of the Guess Who. Fantastic songs on here. These Eyes, Laughing, Undone, No Time, American Woman, No Sugar Tonight, Hand Me Down World, Bus Rider, Share the Land, Do You Miss Me Darling, and Hang On to Your Life. All classic cuts. Bee Gees. This was Spirits Having Flown. I already have a copy of this. I'm a Bee Gees fan, by the way. This came out after Saturday Night Fever, when they were sort of going down in flames and being spray painted with the disco label. This is a collection from K-Tel, I think it is. Is it K-Tel? No, it's not. It's TVLP. So one of those television records, the Bee Gees Love Collection. How about Diana Ross, Swept Away, Gatefold. Never used to be a Diana Ross fan, but I'm getting more into her as time goes on. Another Diana Ross song. This is from the movie soundtrack, for theme from Mahogany, Do You Know Where You're Going To? On, is it on Motown? Yeah, it's on Motown. Tamla Motown. Nice copy of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Four-Way Street. Everybody knows this record. It's nice to have a nice copy of this as well. A couple of copies of Lionel Richie. Like I said, or like I mentioned before, I think this is an amalgamation of 3 or 4 collections, so that's why there's so many doubles in here. But Can't Slow Down, Lionel Richie. I just picked this record up for $1, I think. And now I've got 2 more copies. This is Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll, of course, classic record. 2 copies, and they're both in very, very clean condition. This gentleman just passed away this year, legend Gordon Lightfoot. I bought a collection from a friend of mine, and he had every Gordon Lightfoot record, all the United Artists stuff, all the Reprise stuff, but he did not have a copy of this for some reason, and I consider this Gordon's best album. Sundown. How about some soul, some later soul from Eddie Kendricks, fantastic singer. A little more disco-y, but that's the way things went back in the late 70s. Eddie Kendricks, and it's called Vintage 78. Some middle-of-the-road stuff, Player. Of course, their big hit was Baby Come Back. I think a lot of these records were bought because of, because somebody liked the hit, and then they found out that it was too much of a pain in the ass to just to play the whole record just to hear the hit, so they stopped playing the record. That's why they're in such good condition. A couple of Corey Hart albums. I've been picking up Corey Hart records for some reason from collections and in the cheapie bins. I've got 3 others. This makes 5 in his early period. He's not a bad guy, actually. Great band all the time. Soundtrack to a movie called Hard to Hold. This is Rick Springfield. He starred in the movie. But I'm not really that interested in Rick Springfield. But there are 3 songs on here that aren't done by Springfield. First one is When the Lights Go Down, which is a Graham Parker song. Heart of a Woman, which is a Nona Hendrix song. And there's a Peter Gabriel song on here called I Go Swimming. So probably hold on to it, add it to my soundtracks collection because of those 3 songs. Next, another K-Tel special. This is Crystal Gale, of course, her smash hits. Her smash hit, Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. I love Crystal Gale. Another country singer I'm not aware of, or wasn't aware of. This is Olivia. And again, I don't know, I don't recognize any of the hits on here or what the hit was, but just self-titled Sylvia, country music. Here's a surprise. Nice copy of the Kinks Live at Kelvin Hall. Yeah, on Phonodisc. Early stuff. I don't know when this was put out. I think it was around 66 or 67 maybe. 66 probably. A couple of Rita Coolidge albums I already have. This is Anytime, Anywhere, and Love Me Again. I love Rita Coolidge. Great singer. An album that I already have, of course, this is a classic, City to City. I am a big Jerry Rafferty fan. This is a very clean copy. It might be an upgrade from mine. Fantastic. Of course, Baker Street's on there. Rock Revival Greats, another K-Tel special. Chuck Berry, show you the cover. Chuck Berry, Gene Vincent, Frankie Avalon, The Diamonds, Dee Clark, Everly Brothers, Bill Haley, the Dave Clark Five. The Dave Clark Five, why are they on there? Bo Diddley, Dion and the Belmonts, The Angels, Little Richard, etc., etc., etc. 25 greatest hits. Got two copies of an Eddie Rabbitt album, 1981. Kind of, I guess, middle of the road country. Anyways, they're in nice shape. I'll probably trade these in or give them away or whatever. Got an instant Kenny Rogers collection. First of all, there's Gideon. Is probably maybe his most famous album, The Gambler, and one just called Kenny. Man, wonder what his net worth is. Sold a lot of records. This is my first Elvis album. It's Elvis Golden Records. It's on RCA, of course. Hound Dog, Lovin' You, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock, Love Me, Too Much, Don't Be Cruel. That's where your heartache begins. Teddy Bear, Love Me Tender, Treat Me Nice, Any Way You Want Me, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. Fantastic songs. Happy to have this. I'm not about to become an Elvis Presley completist. However, my buddy Art, the North Carolina vinyl picker, I was almost going to say New York vinyl picker. He's not from New York. He's from North Carolina. One of his favorite records, and this is Switched on Bach. Hey Art, this it's not the good cover where he's sitting down. He's standing up. And kind of a compendium to switch. This is Switched off Bach, and it's got E-Power Biggs, Zoltan Rosnyai, Pablo Casals, and Glenn Gould. So straight classical on Bach. Chase. You don't know Chase. They're a band from, I'm not sure where I don't know where Bill Chase was from. More like Blood, Sweat and Tears, early Chicago, horn-based jazz rock. Heard it's a good record. Dave Clark 5, Bits and Pieces, Glad All Over, Do You Love Me, and Others. Greatest Hits collection. Probably the only Dave Clark 5 record I need. And in good condition. Hard to find those old records in good condition. An artist that I know, but I'm not familiar with his music. This is Joe Eli. I think he's from Texas. Standing in Big Hotel. Looking forward to listening to this. This is a gatefold. Looks interesting, and it's in great shape. Jean-Michel Jarre, Oxygène. Of course, the Prog album. Prog Electronics. One of the French pioneers in the field. Classic. Don't have to say anything about this. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Nice clean copy on Cotillion. The Graham Edge Band featuring Adrian Gervitz. Graham Edge was the drummer from the Moody Blues, and after Seventh Sojourn, I think they all went off in their own directions and started recording solo records. Graham Edge is the guitar player, and he shreds it on here. Glad to have this one. Graham Edge Band. The Minglewood Band. Canadian blues band, country band. I think of more of a blues country band. And I'm not sure if they're from the West Coast or the East Coast, but they are from one or the other. Happy to have this in great, great shape as well. And a soundtrack. Thank God it's Friday. But there's lots of artists on here. So this is basically a disco album. Lots of artists I'm not familiar with, but it's got the Commodores on here. Donna Summer does 3 songs. Dinah Ross does a song. And that is all that I recognize. So soundtrack, who knows whether I'm going to keep this or not. David Foster. David Foster is, I live in Victoria. David Foster is a native from Victoria. I've got a funny David Foster story that I don't have time to tell right now, but maybe one day I will. I'm peripherally involved with David Foster in a very, very minor way. Soundtrack to Grease. This will be a good trade-in. These things just fly off the shelves, and it's in great shape. I am an Olivia Newton-John fan, but not a fan of that movie. Paul Young, have a copy of this. Paul Young was huge in the 80s for sure. Released a number of records. I have this one. Every Time You Go Away is the big song on here. I think he had about 4 hits off this record, but in brilliant condition. How about some Wham? Make It Big. Again, in great condition. Probably will not be staying in my collection. Joe Walsh. There Goes the Neighborhood. Always happy to have a Joe Walsh record in my, especially for 60 cents. Down the Farm, Life Illusion. Well, I don't know what the hit was on this record, but I'll give it a spin later on. When John Mellencamp was still calling himself John Cougar Mellencamp, this is Scarecrow, mint condition, autographed by Karen, very famous Karen. Loverboy, another Canadian band. Were they from Vancouver? I think they're from Vancouver. I don't reckon. Oh, Lovin' Every Minute of It is on this record. You know, kind of a middle of the road party rock. Interesting. And a band called Toronto. For all you people not from Toronto, you might call this Toronto. It's Toronto, trust me. I don't think I recognize any of the songs on here because I never listened to radio and I never remember titles. But they did about 4 or 5 records. They're all right. How about Toto? You know, nice condition though. How about Foreigner 4? Probably maybe their biggest record. Again, I'm not Foreigners. Nice copy, or not a nice copy. Actually, it's a pretty beat up copy of Big Hits, High Tide, and Green Grass, Rolling Stones, London big greatest hits comp, and it is on mono. So nice to have that in mono. Now the Rolling Stones, Emotional Rescue. Already have this. Make a nice gift, a nice trade-in. Tattoo You, great shape. Maybe one of their last good albums, arguably. Hot Rocks, 64 to 71. Rolling Stones comp, everybody knows this one. Julian Lennon, The Lot, his first record. Great record, by the way. This is my second copy, so I'll be either swapping this out for my other copy or trading it in. But really, give Julian Lennon a listen. You'd be surprised. This is kind of a joke album. It's called The Masked Marauders. Very funny right up in the back. I think this was one of the bands that would tour around the bars, etc., and sell their records in the venue. Yeah, I don't recognize any of those songs. Mamas and the Papas, original copy of Deliver. I already have a copy of the Mamas and the Papas' greatest hits, but happy to have this one. It's pretty good shape. WMID, the Jersey Giant. So greatest hits comp put out by a record store somewhere, or a record store. I misspeak. a radio station somewhere in New Jersey, I think. And this is volume 2. Chuck Berry, Santo and Johnny's on here. They get a little bit of coverage in the VC here. The Five Satins, Neil Diamond, Runt is on here. We Got to Get You a Woman. Todd Rundgren song. There you go. Another TV Records, As Seen on TV, 498. This is a great one. This is Soul Train. Hits that made it happen. Curtis Mayfield, Joe Tex, Billy Paul, Joe Simon, Barbara Mason, James Brown, Get on the Good Foot, Backstabbers by the OJs, Main Ingredient, Everybody Plays the Fool. Some great songs on here, so that's a keeper for sure. Nice copy of Saturday Night Fever. Sold about 40 million of these, didn't they? A little bit chewed up, but the records are in good shape, so that'll be a trade-in or giveaway or whatever. Oh yeah, Chic. Fantastic record produced by Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, of course. Fantastic stuff. I know this is going to sound great. And it is called Say Chic. It's a band I don't know that much about, but I checked them out. The band called The Records. And when I first saw these, I said, oh man, it's one of those bands that thought it's going to be really cute to name ourselves The Records. We're making records and we're The Records. But apparently these are their first 2 records, and this is really, really good power pop. So looking forward to listening to that. Rupert Holmes, Partners in Crime. He's released a lot of records. I think that it's got his most famous song, Escape, and that's the Pina Colada song. So yacht rock for sure. From Scotland, Sheena Easton. Nice copy of this. Produced by Nile Rodgers. He's worked with everybody, and this is an album called Do You. Do It For Love is on here. Don't recognize any of the other songs. My first Janet Jackson album, Control. Very, very nice copy. Very clean. Janet Jackson. More R&B and soul. And for my buddy Mike, MGK Boston, a copy of Stevie Winwood's Back in the High Life. He's a big Stevie Winwood fan. I prefer the Traffic stuff, but I'll take Stevie Winwood. He's good. And for Ben Rankin's, Australia's most famous export, Men at Work. Who Can It Be Now, of course, is on here. There was a number of hits off of this record. Sold tons and tons of records. They're easy to find, but again, mint copy. This one is interesting. This is a compilation released by Capitol Records. It's called The New Spirit of Capitol Records. So it is one of those samplers that they used to sell for a couple of bucks. It's still got the original plastic bag on it, so the cover is going to be mint. Steve Miller Band, Joe South, Linda Ronstadt, Edgar Broughton Band, Grand Funk Railroad, Pink Floyd, Bob Seger's System, and Mississippi Fred McDowell. So really interesting comp. I love collecting these. Got a Dr. Hook collection. Probably don't need any more after this, but this is Dr. Hook's greatest hits. Dr. Hook a little bit more. Dr. Hook, Sometimes You Win, and Dr. Hook, Sloppy Seconds, and is this the one with the things I didn't say, I got my rocks off? The cover of the Rolling Stone is on this, so great publicity stunt by covering that, and they did get on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine because of it. So, Dr. Hook. Instant Pat Benatar collection, In the Heat of the Night. Pat Benatar, Precious Time. Gary from Physical Format Rock and Roll is a big Pat Benatar fan. I know, because he's told me. And Crimes of Passion, Pat Benatar. So 3 good Pat Benatar records in great shape. This is a great record. I've had it for a long time. I'm a big Boz Scaggs fan. I know this was his biggest seller. He probably drove a lot of people away from his career because of the constant airplay, but he's a great blue-eyed soul singer, fantastic musician, great guitar player. check out his last 4 records. I have Memphis, and it's absolutely fantastic. A band I don't have and I wasn't that interested in, but you know, kind of Midwest prog rock sticks. This is Paradise Theater. Nice copy of that. And an album that really sells for a lot of money these days, and I don't know why. This is a mint copy of Thriller. I don't have a copy, so I'll probably be keeping this, but how many records did he sell? 35, 40 million of this? And I'm surprised that the prices are so high for a record that sold so much. But, you know, Rumors is the same thing from Fleetwood Mac, so who knows? David Gates from Bread. This is Goodbye Girl. I know Ben Rankins would say, but my parents used to listen to David Gates. That's parents' music, and he's absolutely right. George Harrison, Somewhere in England. I have a copy of this, but this is a nice, very nice, clean copy. Great record. I love George Harrison. And another record that sold a billion. I've got 2 of them. This is Christopher Cross. I would say in the last year, about a year ago, I was on a cruise on the from LA to Puerto Vallarta and back, and I was while we were in Cabos, I took one of those sailing expeditions, offshore expeditions, and as we were heading back with the sails up, Christopher Cross's record was playing, and yeah, it's yacht rock, but actually it's pretty good. Happy to have a copy of that. Some Paul McCartney, Venus and Mars. London Town, I have both Venus and Mars in London Town. And a Paul McCartney album I don't have in my collection, which is Tug of War. They're all nice, clean copies. Great to have another Beatles record to add to my collection. We're coming to the end, folks, okay? So I know we're at 27 minutes, but this is Bionic Boogie. Nice, obviously a disco album produced by Greg Diamond. So this is a put together band by Greg Diamond, and I don't know. I'm loving the disco lately. What can I say? Got some Donna Summers. This is a fantastic Donna Summers record. This is Bad Girls. I've got a copy of this. This might be better than mine. Fantastic. Double album. Love Donna Summers. Lots of hits on that record. And this is another Donna Summers record I have. I Remember Yesterday. But again, a very, very clean cover on Casablanca Records. And Donna Summers I don't have. This is called Once Upon a Time. Double record. The lovely Donna Summers. The late Donna Summers. This is an artist that I see in the bins all the time. I've been meaning to find out how many records this guy recorded, because you can find them in the dollar bins all the time. This is Dan Fogelberg's Greatest Hits. So this is my only Dan Fogelberg record. Maybe it's probably the only one I need. Don't know if I'll keep it yet, but I'll check it out. It's a maybe. Andy Gibbs, tragic end of this young man's life. I already have this record. I got it as part of another collection, but this is called Shadow Dancing. You can find it anywhere, but not a clean copy like this one. Coming up to the end, folks. 3 more records. One is Juice Newton. Dirty Looks from 19... Now I can't find the date here. I'm going to say 1980 something. 1983. Nice clean copy of that. And Juice Newton, it's called Juice. She had a couple of big hits. Gravelly voice singer. Great voice, actually. And last, Johnny Winter's first record. I was so excited when I saw this in the collection, and I was pulling it out shortly after I got the collection, just sort of checking out the condition, and I pulled it out like this, and it was looking pretty good. And I should mention that I've spun clean all of these records. It took me 7 days, but as I pulled this one out of the sleeve, that's a loser. Dog took a bite out of it. so unhappy to see that, but the cover is great. So I'm going to find hopefully I run across another copy of this, because I really love Johnny Winter and I love this record. And yeah, I'll have to Frankenstein that one. So there you go, folks. That is part 4 of my records. Glad you stuck around. It's half an hour. This is a really long video. I don't want this. I just don't want to carry on forever on this series. I'm going to take a break from doing this series. Maybe I will come back in a couple of weeks and show you some more, because there's still lots and lots of records. Thanks a lot for watching. Give me a like. Maybe because this one is so long, I'll get some more dislikes. I always ask for dislikes. But thanks to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate it. My numbers have been going up as a result of the shout-outs I got during Vinyl Hag 2024. So I really appreciate that. And when I say subscribers, I mean friends. And I have subbed a lot of new channels in the last month. So looking forward to hearing your comments and seeing your videos coming up. Stick around. My next video is going to be a special video. I am going to do a contest, so I'm going to do that in about 5 or 6 days. So till then, cheers guys, keep crate digging.